LeBron James didn't just escape poverty, he rewrote the blueprint for success. From sleeping in the backseat of a car to becoming a billion-dollar empire, his journey is filled with risk, struggle, and jaw-dropping decisions. But one move changed everything, and it almost cost him $700 million. LeBron James didn't just grow up poor, he grew up without a home. As a kid, he didn't have a bedroom. He didn't have a home. He barely had a future. His mother, Gloria, had him at just 16, and with no stable job or family support. 12 different homes in just 3 years, shuffling between relatives, sleeping on friends' couches, and praying his mother would find stability. They were forced to bounce from one couch to another, living with friends and relatives just to survive. Winters in Ohio were brutal, and without a permanent place to stay, they often slept in a car, cheap motels, or run-down apartments with no heat. Gloria James's beat-up vehicle, where they'd sleep on cold nights because they had nowhere else to go. Imagine being 9 years old, waking up in the backseat of a car, heading to school like nothing was wrong, because you had no choice. At just 9 years old, LeBron already knew what it felt like to be abandoned. His father, nowhere to be found. LeBron's father, Anthony McClellan, was not present in his life and had a criminal record. He did not play a role in LeBron's upbringing. His childhood wasn't about toys and games. It was about wondering where they'd sleep next. The instability took a toll. 4th grade, he missed 82 out of 160 school days. Not because he didn't care, but because survival came first. Everything changed when a man named Frank Walker Sr. saw what was happening. A local youth football coach, Walker saw LeBron's raw athletic talent and potential. But more than that, he saw a kid who needed help. Frank Walker Sr. made a decision that changed everything. One day, he made an offer that would change LeBron's life forever. Frank Walker Sr. wasn't just a coach, he was a lifeline. Seeing LeBron's pain and struggle, Walker made a bold offer to Gloria. Let him stay with us. He needs stability. He needs a chance. For Gloria, it was a heartbreaking choice, letting her son go so he could have a future. But deep down, she knew. This was his only shot. LeBron moved in with the Walkers, and for the first time in his life, he had. For the first time ever, LeBron had a bed, a warm meal, and a stable home. And that's when he started to believe in himself. Gloria James tried. She fought like hell to give her son a better life. But the weight of single motherhood, poverty, and constant moving was unbearable. There were nights when she had to choose between food and rent. Nights where she cried herself to sleep, feeling like she failed her son. LeBron saw everything. He saw the pain, the stress, the tears. And even as a kid, he knew one thing: he had to do something. Then came the breaking point. One night, LeBron witnessed his mother in danger, a moment that cemented in his mind that he needed to escape poverty at all costs. He vowed to himself, "Mom, I got you. I'll make it. I promise." And that's when LeBron James stopped being a kid. With a fire inside him that couldn't be put out, he turned his pain into purpose. Every dribble, every shot, every sprint wasn't just for basketball. It was for survival. When things were looking up, disaster struck. LeBron was in high school when his mother, Gloria James, was arrested. Disorderly conduct, a public altercation. Handcuffed in front of her son. For most teenagers, it would have been the breaking point. But for LeBron, it was fuel. He was already carrying the weight of their struggles. Now, he had to grow up even faster. This is it. I can't let her suffer anymore. That arrest became his turning point. He trained harder. He dominated every game. He refused to let his mother's pain define their future. The same woman who once had nothing? The mother who was arrested in public? LeBron bought her a mansion. No more struggle. No more pain. He kept his promise. "I got you, Mom." LeBron James pulled up to high school in a brand new Hummer H2, a $50,000 luxury SUV. For a kid still living in public housing, the NCAA smelled something fishy. They launched an investigation because how could a high schooler afford a car like that? Was a sports agent behind it? A secret sponsor? An under-the-table deal? Nope. The truth was even crazier. LeBron's mom, Gloria, took out a massive loan, gambling on her son's future. She knew LeBron was destined for the NBA, so she bet everything on him, using his potential future earnings as collateral. It was risky, it was controversial, but she knew one thing: her son was different. And she was right. Because within a year, LeBron was a millionaire. Most players grind their whole careers just to make it to the NBA. LeBron, he was already a millionaire before he even stepped on an NBA court. The year was 2003. Nike, Reebok, and Adidas were in a full-scale bidding war over a teenager from Akron, Ohio. Then came the deal that shocked the world. Nike offered him $87 million, a contract that made him richer before he even got drafted. Think about it. He was still in high school. He hadn't played a single NBA game, and he was already wealthier than most pros. When LeBron finally signed his NBA contract for $18 million, it was just extra money. The message was clear: LeBron wasn't just a player, he was a brand, and he was only getting started. Most NBA stars go broke after retirement. LeBron, he'll be making millions for life. In 2015, Nike did something they've never done before. They handed LeBron a lifetime contract, a deal worth over $1 billion. This means one thing: even when LeBron is done playing, his bank account keeps growing. And the craziest part? He'll reportedly earn over $30 million per year for the rest of his life. That's Michael Jackson-level business genius. LeBron James isn't just a businessman. He's one of the greatest players in NBA history. A four-time NBA champion, four-time MVP, and the all-time leading scorer, LeBron has dominated the league for over 2 decades. With over 39,000 career points and counting, he's proven his greatness both on and off the court. LeBron didn't just dominate the court, he dominated the money game too. LeBron doesn't just buy houses, he plays the real estate game like a billionaire. Los Angeles, California, a $36 million Beverly Hills estate. Brentwood, LA, a $23 million mansion. Akron, Ohio, a $9 million property in his hometown. That's over $100 million in real estate, and he's not just collecting houses. LeBron flips properties like a pro. He buys, renovates, and sells for millions in profit. While other athletes waste their money, LeBron makes his work for him. Basketball made him rich, but business made him unstoppable. LeBron didn't just change the game, he forced the NBA to change its rules. In 2003, an 18-year-old high school kid walked into the league and took over. By 2005, the NBA had seen enough. They banned high school players from going pro. It became known as the LeBron Rule. Players like Kevin Durant, Zion Williamson, and Anthony Davis were forced to play in college before entering the NBA. Why? Because LeBron changed the standard. No 18-year-old had ever entered the league that dominant. The NBA couldn't handle another teenage superstar like him, so they rewrote the rulebook. LeBron doesn't just play basketball, he owns sports teams. Liverpool FC, one of the richest soccer clubs in the world. Blaze Pizza, he turned a $1 million investment into over $40 million. Spring Hill Entertainment, a production company that made Space Jam 2 and Hustle. LeBron isn't just an athlete, he's an empire. While most NBA players lose their money, LeBron built a future beyond basketball. He's playing chess while others play checkers. And when he retires, he'll still be making millions. LeBron made a business move that cost him hundreds of millions. Back in 2008, he had stock in Beats by Dre, a small investment that could have made him a fortune. But here's the problem: he sold too early. Years later, Apple bought Beats for $3 billion. If LeBron had held onto his shares, he could have walked away with over $700 million. Instead, he cashed out early and got only $30 million. Even legends make mistakes, and this might be LeBron's biggest one. Most 18-year-olds dream of a $10 million check. LeBron was a teenager, broke, and had never made money before. Then Reebok slid a $10 million contract across the table. One signature, and the money was his. But he turned it down. Why? Because he believed he was worth more. He took a massive gamble. One injury, and his value could have disappeared overnight. But it paid off. Months later, Nike handed him an $87 million deal. And today, that deal is worth over $1 billion. LeBron's bet on himself changed his life forever.